Another indicator that has been selected in the Pacific set of Sustainable Development Indicators comes from SDG 8, and it refers to people's access to financial services. So 8.10.2, which is the proportion of adults aged 15 plus with an account at a bank or other financial institution or with mobile money service provider. And in the region, while the official indicator does not disaggregate by sex, this is seen as an important supplement to the gender indicators. It's particularly women's access to financial services and the ability to start a business, to sell goods at the market or online, and to receive remittances from overseas. 8.10.2 is seen as important to tell us whether people are engaging in the formal financial sector. And it's known that in order to grow a business, to access loans, to receive government funds, access to either a personal or shared bank account is fundamental to interact in society in many ways. The World Bank does collect this information for many countries, but the Pacific is not heavily captured in these global surveys. So Vanuatu is a good example where they've included this question in their most recent 2016 mini-census. And it's quite a simple question to add, and particularly in some of our smaller countries, there may only be one or two official commercial banks. So these can be listed in the question to assist people to understand how to respond. Remittances in particular are a growing and important source of funding to families and communities in the Pacific, and we know that the cost of remittances is high. And while this is captured in a separate indicator, 10.C.1, as the metadata for 8.10.2 tells us, having access to an account is an important starting point for someone to engage and receive a range of financial services, particularly with the increase in remittances, whereby people or families receive funds sent from overseas, particularly Australia, New Zealand, the US. We know that receiving money through an official account can often be cheaper than using non-bank financial services or money lenders. And while we know that the receipt of provident, retirement, social security funds is relatively low in the region, having an official bank account will enable people to engage and receive services that they are entitled to. For people wanting to expand their business, being able to show a credit history and the receipt of wages or a regular income is largely only possible with official bank receipts. And it can also provide security, particularly for women household members, to save and to keep their money in a bank so that they're not coming home from having sold their goods at market and people being aware that they will have cash on them. So it provides another level of security to people in the community. For 8.10.2, it's the ability to engage in a formal financial sector, to receive funds from overseas, but also to receive funds from the government, and to demonstrate a time series of credit if people want to apply for a loan, for instance.